Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Barbara J. Beckley, and I am the founder, CEO of the Diamond Factor Network, and also the creator of the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley, where I come on every Monday at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Gotta get my time zones together. That I bring you and I spotlight experts, advice for life and business. And also for the new coming in the new year, I'm going to be bringing in special editions of the show. Just me, yours truly, giving you some tips, some guidance, some inspiration when it comes to just learning from coaches or giving you some advice how to find different coaches when you're looking for them, and just a lot of different things that's going to help you move that needle when it comes to regarding into your world, into your personal life, and also into your business. So as I say, let's get started with the Coaches Lounge. Barbara J. Beckley, and I'm a visibility and social media strategist. And we're back. So today I want to talk about 3 mind flow tips. And I know you see that down below where it says 3 mind flow tips. And there's a little difference between the two. We have been hearing for probably ages about got to have that right mindset. Do you have that mindset? Are you thinking about on the right mindset? Are you on the right mindset? Has somebody taught you the right mindset? And the list goes on, right? And I received a whole different understanding this year when it comes to mindset. Now, as we know, we're always saying that, you have to have your mindset on certain things, certain goals, certain things that you're thinking about so you can move the needle in your life, being if it's goals, expectations that you have, things that you're trying to pursue, have that mindset, right? Then I thought about the word, and I got this, and I had to give so much love because you want to give where you get your gems, right? Sometimes it doesn't come from you. Sometimes it comes from others that you know around you, other positive mentors around your life. And Barbara Ellis, she mentioned to me just maybe 7 months ago, because we have our own show. And she's like, Barbara, I understand mindset. I get it. I get the word and everything. She said, but I look at it more of a mind flow. And I said, First I was like, let me be honest. I was like, because see, now this is where you have to be open. You have to be open to what others are saying to get that understanding where they're coming from without just shutting it down so quick. Have you done that where somebody tells you something? It could be something that's a mic drop, but in your mind, you're so used to the norm of things or used to the certain words that are put out there that when somebody says something totally different, a little bit off the wall that you're thinking is off the wall, like, I don't think so. Then maybe they had a bad day that day or whatever, right? That's what I'm thinking, because I have bad days too. We all have bad days. But that wasn't a bad day. Barbara gave some wonderful, there's another Barbara, not me, some wonderful information that really I was listening to her. Not just hearing, but I was listening. And that made me think about the word mindset. And you think about, you talk about your mind, right? But set. And then I said, yeah, she said mind flow. I said, set. Just think about the word set. I'm set in my ways. You heard that before, right? Well, I'm not going to change because that's how I was, that's how I was brought up. That's how I was taught. That's how I was this. So I'm set. I'm set. I'm okay. And and I was thinking, okay, set just seems so just sitting in that same place. right? Just staying in that same zone, not going beyond that, not trying to move forward, not trying to think of something different, not trying to be creative. Just you're kind of set. Now, I know a lot of people want to take that and say, well, Barbara, mindset is, you got to be focused. So they're saying about mindset, you be focused. And I get that. And there's another meaning to that. But if we want to take it to another level, we take mindset, if we're going to keep using that, because that is a popular word and people have been using it for ages. So I'm not trying to change that mentality, that mindset, right? But if you add mind flow to it, it's not only you're just taking the mindset of what you're thinking about, but then you want to flow in that area because you want to be open to new things that are coming that you might miss. Just like I said about what the whole mindset versus mind flow. And I don't even want to say versus. I just want to say that it kind of comes together. I want you to just think about when you make a decision in life, any decision, right? Through that time that you made the decision, has there ever been some time within that decision that you had to make some changes, that you had to tweak a little bit, that you had to take something out, that you had to add something in? Maybe you had to redo the whole thing, right? If you're in that mindset, you would just stay doing that one thing, saying, you know what, I'm going to do it no matter what, because that was my mindset at that time. This is how it's supposed to go, and this is what it's supposed to do. But just maybe, something's telling you, well, maybe you do need to look at that again. Maybe you need to reevaluate some things. Or somebody says something that's really powerful. Maybe you can add that to it. Or maybe it's just something that you got to change up altogether. I was just listening to somebody just the other day today. They were like, long as you have breath in your body, you have time to do what you need to do. You can make them changes. You can focus on different things. You can analyze some things a little bit more. Maybe you can take some things from here and there and put it together, and it makes more sense with the decision that you made more than at the beginning. You living. If you're still living, you're still breathing, then you have that chance to do it. And I would say you want to be the best. You're trying to do the best you can. No one's perfect. We're all imperfect, right? We're perfect through our imperfectness, if you want to say that. So we all add up then. It's like nobody's here or there. We're all imperfect in different ways. So why not take the chance to make the decisions differently, or change it up, or do something a little bit different, or maybe do a tweak here? It might work out even better than what you thought. But if you set in your ways, if you just sit there, then you are missing the opportunities that you can have when you're making those decisions. Yeah. Example, for me, just this past year, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on me, on my personal life, in my business, in my, work ethics, and the people I'm around, the things and the impact that I keep saying I want to make. I had to make a lot of different changes. Some of them weren't easy. Some of them were very difficult. Some of them hurt hard. You've been there before, where some things in your life, it just hurts. There's no way getting around it. It's just a soreness. It's just achiness, and it don't have to be, it's not just physically physical. It can be mentally. And you're trying to just, get out of that zone. It's like, I got it. Just it's still there. Just over that hump. Have you been there? I know I have been there this year. And I started looking, and I said to myself, out of everything, lips are chapped. Out of everything, what do I really want to do? And I'm telling you, things will come in your life through different areas. And what I'm saying by movies, a song, a person that might say a certain word, something that you said maybe a long time ago that you listen to again, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Did I say that? I don't remember saying that. That's kind of good. Or you heard somebody else say it, or whatever the case may be. And I got this particular thing from a movie. And the question was, this guy was asking this young lady, and he asked her, well, they both were sitting, they were talking. And he said, I have a personal question for you, if you don't mind. And she said, go ahead, no problem. I don't have a problem with it. What's the question? He said, are you happy? He said, just like that. He said, are you happy? And she's like, And when she took that time, after he asked her that question, I had epitome on that, because I was like, should it take that long if you are happy? Think about it. If somebody asks you, Barbara J. Beckley, are you happy? And I'm like, I don't know. I think so. Yeah. I can say I'm happy. I'm content. Now I'm just using this example. It took her that's what happened in the movie. It took her some time. And she finally kind of got her words together. And she's like, yeah, I am happy because this and this happened. And, some things didn't happen right. But even though I learned some things throughout the whole process of the lower valleys I had in my life. So, yeah, I'm content. She said she went from happy to content. She said she's content. She was content with herself. And I was thinking to myself, but is that the same as being happy? Being content? That's just using another word to kind of grace over happiness. So then she turned around and asked me, she said, can I ask you a personal question? He's like, what? She's, are you happy? And I knew that was coming. I knew that. When I watched this movie, I said, she's going to ask me, was he happy? And she just said it. And he said no. He said no. He said, I'm not happy. I am not happy. And he said, the word that you use, that word, the word you want to use, content. He said, I'm none of that right now. He said, I had to own that first. He told her, he said, I have to own the fact that I am not happy. Why do I have to sit here explain to somebody or try to pull something from the universe or wherever to say I'm happy just to be so you can be content? And that was real. And I love that about that. Love being real. I love just putting it out there, just owning it. And he owned it. He owned that. He said, now I'm not depressed. I'm not sad. Because, the opposite of happy is sad, right? Opposite of content being non-content, right? He said, I'm not so much of, I have this mental health thing going on right now. He said, but I know there are things in my life that I need to do. I need to change. I need to figure it out. I need to find a way. I need to learn something. I need to take more challenges. He was just going on and on. He said, and that's why I'm not happy, because I need to figure this out. And I had to come to a place in my life to ask that question and to be truly, truly real to me and ask myself, am I happy? And if I'm not, why? And don't just sugarcoat it. So by seeing that and hearing that, I own mine. Now, somebody, I was asked myself that question. I said, Barbara, are you happy? I said to myself, I said, I'm content. Sorry. I live so chapped. I said, I'm content. And I owned it, just like he did. And you see where this is going? It's going back. I'm getting around to mindset and mind flow. And I said I was content because I was content in what I started and what I said I was going to keep going. The mindset that I had on certain things that I was going to do in my business, certain things I'm going to do in my personal life. Okay, I'm chucking through it. But I wasn't happy about it because the things that I thought or that I felt like was going to happen didn't happen. And then I'm getting confused on why. I need some more information about it, or I needed some more just teaching on it, or I just need to maybe change up something. See, all that was going on in my head. And that was causing me to have confusion. Have anybody been there before? Come on, we're talking real talk here. Have you all been confused? We're going into new year. Are you going in confused? Are you going into the new year being content or not happy? And that's okay to say that. See, we feel like since it's the old going out and the new coming in, that we automatically, all of us, supposed to be this happy, 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 joy, joy. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you're just like barely getting through 2023, 2024, and some stuff that's been, dealing with in 2023 is coming into 2024. And you want to do this. You want to be like, no, I don't want you in this new year. I want you to move. But some things are not going to get taken care of until the new year. And you got to be okay with that and figure out the why from it. Or if you understand the why it's going into the new year, then you deal with it and you move forward in what you need to still do. And don't look at a number on a calendar. Because it's going to happen when it's going to happen, be it at the clock strikes 12 or beyond that. So if I had a mindset, just saying, on the topic that I'm talking about, then I'd probably be more upset right about now, because there's a lot of things I had a mindset on that I didn't get done. I just didn't get done. It didn't get done, or it didn't get the way that I thought it should be. Let's just say that, or the way it should have, could have, would have, this type of thing. So I had to have a mind flow now. I got to go into that mind flow. That means I had to make a decision and say, okay, Barbara, are you going to let this, are you going to hold on to this? Are you going to keep beating yourself up for it? Are you going to say, well, woe is me, I didn't get it done, I'm still content, I'm not happy? Are you going to go through all that and sit in that? Or are you going to say, you know what? New year coming in, wonderful. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. I'm still hearing things. I can still speak. That's good. That's amazing. Right there alone is a miracle for me. That I'm standing tall for another year. Now that I have all that out there and I'm thankful for it, I'm grateful for it. Now what am I going to do with it? What I'm going to do? What you going to do? My mother used to say that to me. What are you going to do now? What you going to do? What are you going to do? It's always up to us to make the decision. Are you going to be that person to just say to yourself, okay, I'm going to make this decision and I'm going to go for it and we'll see how it goes? Or I'm going to ask this particular person how to do that, because you know what? I didn't really understand. And why keep beating myself up because I understand something that's not something that's expert in my expertise, or it's not my lane. So why am I sitting here, keep beating myself or keep putting all this work into it? And you can just ask the question of somebody that knows how to do it and get your answer and just keep it moving. Or even hire the person if you want to. Or for a project, it don't have to be forever. Some people hire certain expertise on certain projects, get something done, and then when it's done, and then you move forward. But if you have a mindset all the time, just set mindset, then you might not think of the other things that can happen that you need to bring in to get things done in your life. So it's good to have both. Sum it all up, right? It's good to have both. And I want to give you right now 3 tips when it comes to mindset, my flow tips. When it comes to just coaching, this don't have to just be coaching. I mean, I use it because it's the Coach's Lounge, and I want to start, like I said, I'm giving certain days that I have the Coach's Lounge on. I'm going to have certain things to, teach and give you tips on. So I want to kind of go through, there's 3 areas that I thought that's good when you're coaching, when you're mentoring, when you're teaching. So this could cover an array. First thing, positive enforcement and encouragement. Positive enforcement and encouragement. Cultivate a positive enforcement and encouragement mindset. Reinforcement, encouragement, positive. I know I said it many times. So they said repetition is the father of learning. You want to reinforce your positive behaviors and efforts and achievements. You want to celebrate. That encourages you. And you want to do it for you first. Always start with you. And then as a coach, a mentor, or a teacher, you want to take that same tip and put it into use in your own coaching style. Always positive reinforcements. I don't care how low the valleys are in a person's life or in your life. You always want to pull from somewhere to encourage you that somewhere down the line you made it through. And if you can't think of nothing, I mean, some people are like, I don't have anything. I don't have nothing to positive. I don't have nothing to encourage me. Well, you're sitting here telling me you can't do it. That means you're living, you're breathing. Just like I said earlier. That's encouragement alone. That tells me and it tells you that whatever you're trying to do, you can keep doing it because you're alive. If we want to get that, we want to get to that point. If you're going to tell me there's nothing in your life that's positive to reinforce you, to encourage you, we're going to get to the basics. And the basics is if you're still kicking and breathing, that's encouraging enough. And then you move from there. Think about the positive and encouragement reinforcement that you can pull from your life. I want you to take that step. That's a tip. I hate to say a homework assignment, but it's an assignment for you. Think about celebrating your success, no matter how small. You know how people say, no matter how small or how large it is. Well, you know what? I'm going to take it to another level. Celebrate success, period, in your life. Why are we putting weights on it? Why are we saying, well, this is a small celebration and this is a kind of medium, success. And then this is a high more success. I look at all success in your life is just one level. It's success. Take it in, write it down, encourage yourself. And then reinforcements, I want you to look at that as feedback in a positive way. Now, I had a person that told me, that they should be my coach. This is in the speaking world. And I told them, I said, you know what? You're an amazing coach. Out of a lot of people that I know, you're one of the best that I can see. You are very good with feedback. When it comes to teaching people how to get feedback, you're very good at looking at things structural and making sure things are, in order. And you're wonderful at that. I can't even deny that. But you being my coach, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And just because a person is like the awesomest person in the world as a coach, that doesn't mean they might not be your coach. You two have to still have that relationship. When you have a coach, you got to build with that person. You can be telling certain coaches certain things about you that you might not tell anybody else because you're trying to work things out in your life. You're trying to move that needle. And if that person is a wonderful coach, but has just this way of saying things that's kind of not sugarcoating, but just, you could be direct and you could be direct to the point where you might hurt some feelings or hit some bumps. And then the person that's receiving it, they can either say, okay, I understand why this person's doing it because they know what I have in me and stuff, which, a lot of times I say that about people. Or you don't know if a person is going to take that energy and put it to the point of saying, well, you know what? They yelled at me. They're saying this, they're saying that. I'm not, this is not working. at all with us. The relationship building of being a coach is not working at all. And so that could happen where just because they're just the awesomest person in the world, your, I want to say the connection, it might not work out. And you got to understand for yourself where that lies within you. So they're still in my life and I still listen to them when they're in a group setting or teaching, but on a one-on-one basis, it don't work for us. But it might work for some, but I know it works for others. So that's just a good way of doing constructive, just going just a little bit on the side, doing constructive feedback helps a whole lot, because when I explained it like that, they understood. They didn't get upset at me. They didn't say, well, I can't believe that you wouldn't hire me. And they didn't do nothing like that. They said, Barbara, you're right. If the connection's not there of being a coach, and I told them, I even told them even more so, because we're friends, I said, I'd rather keep you as a friend. And we do that part. Just be friends and savor our friendship, because we've known each other for so long, than to sit here and go into a coaching and coachee type of thing where the connection for that part is not there. And then it might drip into our friendship. And then that's going to cause some chaos. So I'm looking ahead of the game. I'm looking ahead. We don't need to go there. Let's not go down that road. I don't need all that drama. I drama enough without causing drama, right? So yeah. So just taking you a little bit, going back to the first tip, just going back, if you're just listening in now, I'm doing 3 tips when it comes to mindset, mind flow for today's special edition of the Coach's Lounge. If you're just signing in, positive reinforcement and encouragement. That's one thing to take as a tip. If you're a coach, either on both sides, if you're a coach or coachee, like I said, this can happen. This tip can work in all areas. Second tip. Presence and active listening. Presence and active listening. Very important. Embrace a presence and active listening mindset, mind flow. It is so, and I have to put this out here, stress it. It is so important that listening and hearing is 2 different definitions. I can hear a siren going wherever I'm at. Siren might be, and I can still be doing my work, doing what I need to do, and the siren just going on. But if I listen to it, that means I'm trying to figure out where the siren is coming from. And where is the sound coming from? Exactly where is it headed at? Is it from a car? Is it from an ambulance? Is it from a building? Is it some kids playing with a siren little toy thing? What is going on? That's when I'm doing more listening than just hearing it. And us as coaches and educators and teachers and beyond, we need to do more of the listening aspect than this, the hearing, when it comes to talking to individuals, period. And that just goes with just a conversation you're having with somebody. We can even put out the coach part for right this second. Just having a conversation with somebody. If you're just hearing me, you know how you hear some people say, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? I want people to start saying, are you listening to me? Because yeah, they're probably hearing you. They're none want. Just like I hope not age my, well, I'm probably aging myself, like the Peanuts with their teacher. Yeah, they were all talking amongst the other kids, but when the teacher came up, what was it? What was it when the teacher was talking to them? Want, 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 want. That means they were hearing the teacher speaking with the voice, but they weren't listening to the words that the teacher was really telling them. But they were listening to each other to a certain extent. We're not going to go, we can go into depth. That's a whole teaching of the Peanuts. We can go to the deeper sense of that, saying, well, some people were listening, but some people were still hearing. So let's take the teacher out the part right now and put, okay, let's talk about Lucy and Charlie Brown. He wasn't listening to Lucy. Every time he tried to hit that football, kick that football, what would she do? Pull it out. I mean, it just became just a normal thing for her. Like, I know he ain't listening to me. He not even paying attention to me because he keep falling every time. And this not happen just one time. It happened all the time. But anyway, that's a whole different teaching. But going back to active. So we got listening. So you don't understand hearing versus listening. So just to give you a tip, so when people are talking to you, you want to ask the question, are you listening to me? And say it slow like that if you have to. Because I feel like this, if they're going to take the time to talk and you're going to take the time to listen, then you might as well listen to what they're saying at least and see what's going on. I think we lost that now in today's world where we're so busy just hearing everything all over the place. I mean, think about it. You hear songs. I was listening to a song the other day. This is going back to active listening stuff and hearing. I listened to the song the other day. Now, usually I've been more into my more positive music, more meditation, more Christianity music. That, my music, that's what I'm listening to more and more of to keep myself together of what's going on. Well, sometimes I do hear, the music period because I love all music. Okay, I love all music. So I was going through, I think it was because I listened to on the Apple radio, whatever it's called. And they had this new song. I forgot his name that quick. I forgot his name. He's a new rapper that's out. And all I heard is a beat. Na 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 na. Ah na 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 na. I was just going. I said, "Hey, I like that beat," because I like the little dance too. I was like, "Hey," and then all of a sudden, I was hearing it. Right, I was hearing the beat. Na, 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 na. And then all of a sudden I said, okay, Barbara, you listen to this song. You're all into it. You're just dancing and grooving and moving and moving and moving. And then all of a sudden I sat back and I started listening. I started listening to the words now. I said, okay, let me listen to this word. Because sometimes, people make songs, they put some words and you be like, what was that? Well, I listened to the words. Now let me sing you what the words said when I listened to the song. When I listened to it, I was like, oh. And he was saying, I was trying to get out of my mind. I forgot what it was now. He said, I don't deal with whips and shames. You can't put that on me, but you can whip your love on me or something like whip your love on me. I don't need no whips and chains. They bother me, but you can whip your love on me, baby. Whip your love on me. I don't like no whips and chains and they bother, something like that. I was like, what? I was like, whips and chains. And then whipping some love on somebody. I said, oh, Lord. And I'm sitting there grooving. I was grooving to the beat. Now, I'm not saying this for people to shut down and not listen to music they like to listen to. I'm not there to do that. But I have to cover and put boundaries around me. And that was a boundary that I needed to put around me. I was like, so saying all that, it's funny, it's cute. But on the serious note, that was the evidence of hearing versus listening. You see how I just was listening to the groove, I listened to the beat, I was like, hey, that's a good beat. And then when I really sat down and listened to it, then I heard the words coming from it. I'm like, I don't want to, don't want to go down that road. Don't want to go down that road. So that's the same when we're listening to people. You could be hearing what they're saying, and then when you start listening to it, they might be telling you something like, and I'm gonna get serious with this. They might be saying something like, you know what, the other day I was thinking about killing myself, but I just held on a little bit longer, and I'm so glad that you're listening to me now, Barbara. So if I just hear that and don't listen to it, I'm missing as a coach, as a teacher, as a human being, as a person that should be loving on each other. I'm missing out on somebody that's crying for help. And we need to make sure that we take a step back and we look at the fact that I need to do some active listening. It's one thing to hear, you hear something, right? That little beat, right? Then I listened, then I heard the words. Then I actively listened because now I actively took a decision on what I was listening to. So there was steps to that. There was hearing, listening, active listening. What are you doing when people are talking to you, especially in your business? If you're a coach, if you're a mentor, if you're a teacher, you should be active listening to what they have to say. And if you don't have time for it, then you put them on a schedule so you can make time. You carve out whatever you want to call it on your little schedule, on your Calendly, whatever you got to do. You carve it out and you say, for this hour, I'm going to listen to this person because they put it on the calendar. And that's going to push you to active listen. So that's tip number 2, being present, active listening. And I'm going to read my notes here. Be fully present during coaching sessions. And like I said, I'm add everything to that. You could put another word, coaching sessions, whatever, communication, talking to your friend, talking to family member, whatever. Giving your, full attention to your coach, mentor, teacher, parent, child, friend, husband, wife. The list goes on. Practice active listening by not only hearing, what did I say? Hearing the words spoke, but also understanding and underlining the emotions and the intentions. There's a reason why I'm saying that slowly. Understanding, not just hearing, but what's the underlying emotions and the intentions of what that person is saying. Okay. This mindset helps build a strong connection between the coach and the coachee, or a strong connection between you and your friend, or a strong connection between your husband or wife and husband, either way you say it, or a strong connection, with your employee and your employer. I told you it all comes together here. Fostering trust. This is big, huge, and mutual respect. I just felt that. Trust and mutual respect for that person. It also enables you to ask insightful. Now, here we go. This is an extra. Insightful questions and provide relative guidance based on deep understanding of the person's situation. So when you listen, you're listening about those emotions. You're looking at emotions and intentions of that person. It gives you a stronger connection. It builds trust, mutual trust and respect for that person. And it gets you to think about some questions or some guidance that you can help them with throughout what they're saying. It's all about them. So in a nutshell, it's all about them and it's not about you. Have you heard that? Have you heard that saying before? I hear it all the time. In fact, I hear it in my head all the time, especially when I'm coaching and teaching stuff. I'm like, it's not about Barbara Beckley. Now, Barbara Beckley will give examples of her life so she can get the point across and you understand it. But I'm always going to come back to you and say, what are you thinking? What do you think about this? How do you take that in? Has this ever happened to you? See, those are questions you should have, especially if you're speaking too. It's not about you when you're even speaking to the audience. It's about the audience. It's about who you talking, who you trying to make an impact with. Okay, that's a whole nother teaching. Hold on, let me get back. Now let me get my mind flow back to the mindset. Third, flexibility and adaptability. Whoa, this was huge for me. Is it ever huge for you about flexibility? Being flexible. And I've learned a lot about flexibility when I joined an organization called Toastmasters International. I learned both flexibility and adaptability. Now, I've been in Toastmasters for now. It's been going on maybe 14 years now. The first 2 years, I thought I was going to explode and leave the organization because I had to learn how to be patient. I had to learn how to be flexible. I had to adapt the things that I felt like what shouldn't be adapted, but it's still, I had to do it because that's what it was in a leadership role. Not so much of people pushing me to do what their agenda, but having to maneuver around that and still turn it around like, okay, even making it seem like there's their agenda, but basically you got what you need out of it so you can get whatever's needed for everybody. How to, wait on people. Some people don't like time. Some people don't like being on time. Some people even know what time look like. When you can explain some over and over and over again, they're still like, I don't get it. I don't understand. What are you talking about? So you have to be adaptable. You have to change. You got to be flexible. You got to switch up. You got to have a mind flow. You got to understand that there might be some other things you got to do in order to get that person to understand what you're talking about, right? So developing a flexible and adaptable mindset, mind flow. Just reading my notes here because I want to make sure I give you everything. This is my third tip. Recognize that each coachee or person, like I said, place that coachee with anything else, is unique. And there is no one size fits all approach to coaching. It really is not. Everybody has it's just not like you're working in a factory when it comes to coaching. Now, you can have what you call a title: mindset coach, health coach, strategic coach, accountability coach, business coach, and the list goes on, right? But even through those titles that you might have 10 or 5 people have the same title, but they're all different in what they do in their coaching. So, I sit there and tell people, just own it, just own yourself. And then we can work from there. You might have another coach say, well, you really don't, you want to make sure that you do this first before you just start owning it, because you don't want to beat yourself up. And I'm not saying beat yourself up. I feel like if you own it, let's get all out the table. Let's get out there. But am I saying that approach, my approach compared to somebody else's approach, is wrong? No, I'm not. Everybody has their own, like you said, it's not a one size fit all type of approach. And that's to be recognized. So you have to be flexible in the coaching style, and adapt your own method to suit the individual's needs, preferences as a coachee. So even with you being a certain coach, I might have to coach somebody a little bit different than I coach another person. A lot of times I have group coaching when it comes, it's called, I coach about visibility, about your purpose, and I coach about social media and the environment of that, basically, of social media. Most people think it's a monster. I tell them, no, it don't have to be. And that's a whole nother coaching. But so I coach people in that area. So I have group coaching. I might have 5 or 6 people in a coaching in a Zoom room. I have one person, they want to hear boom, 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 boom. I got another person. Well, can you give more detail? Can we give some stories? Can you go around, the bush and all that kind of stuff? Then I got another person that's sitting there like, okay, I need you got to play some music or something because I'm not getting it. Even, how you learn the alphabet, A, B, C, D, F, G, you got to sing something to me on this. Then you got a fourth person. They know everything. Why they're even there, type of thing. So those are 4 different personalities, 4 different type of people that you're coaching in one setting in a group. So let's go back to flexibility and adaptability there. That's where you got to be adaptable, flexible. So you're honing in everybody with everything's going on with everybody, but you're still honing it in where they're getting that concept that you're trying to show them in their way. That's huge. That's why it takes the flexibility and adaptability, and just to move forward in that, it don't suit. So embracing change, be open to adjusting your coaching plans as circumstances evolve. So sometimes there's been many times I had everything set. I had my schedule coaching. I'm going to open up with the objectives, and then I'm going to go tell a little story, and then I'm going to go into 3 tips on this, and then we're going to have open discussion. I mean, I had all laid out. It was looking pretty too. I had my PowerPoint, pop. I went in there, the PowerPoint, had the PowerPoint I didn't use anymore. The little structure that I had, half of it, I started off with the object. Then I went to the whole nother thing because I seen, because I was looking and I was listening to the room. And it wasn't about all the pretty stuff I put together and stuff I did. They wanted me just to hone in on some things. So I took the main pieces that I knew that was needed for all of them. And I just went that way with it. It was a different way how I, arranged at the beginning, but I still got my point across, but I had to make some changes. I had to adapt. I seen what the room, I was feeling the room at the time. There's been many times I would go in one way and then come out the other way. Like, I didn't even have that plan, but, everybody's like, oh my God, Barbara, thank you so much. I understand it now. Thank you for taking it down and stuff. And the biggest thing out of everything that always works for me, I notice no matter what I do, no matter how flexible I am, no matter how much adaptability I have, and this is just like I said, I'm using me as an example. The one thing that I notice is when I tell stories, when I can take a concept and put a story to it, it seems like I don't care who's in the room. They always get it. And I always thank Les Brown for that, because he says, if you're going to tell a story, you make a point. And if you're going to make a point, you tell a story. It has to go hand in hand. You just don't be telling stories, and where you going with it? What road? Where are you taking me? What we're doing here? Why are you telling me the story? What? Have there been times when you sat somewhere and somebody said a story in their lecture or they were teaching, and in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, now where are we going with this? What's that got to do with the fractions of, 10 over 50 or whatever is being taught? So you want to make sure you're making a point. So, but you never go wrong when you put those two together. So that's just a side note. Thank you, Les Brown. Appreciate you. I'm giving the kudos to you. So yeah, where was I? Embracing change will be open to adjusting your coaching as circumstances evolve. This mindset or mind flow also allows for greater responsiveness and the dynamic nature of personal and professional development. So when you become, when people see that you're flexible, you're open to things, they have a tendency of leaning in more. Because now it's not, remember I said it's not about you. You're not leaning to your own agenda anymore. You're leaning into the agenda of the needs of the people. That's what you're leaning into. You're leaning into the needs of the people that need to listen, that wants to listen to you, but you got to give them something that they need. So that's where the flexibility and adaptability comes in. So those are our 3 tips. So I went over, and please, relook at the video if you didn't get a chance to see the beginning. I've talked about positive reinforcements and encouragement. I talked about being present and being active listening or listener. And the third, flexibility and adaptability is very important when it comes to coaching, when it comes to life, period, in general. So these tips, I'm saying that this is like a coaches and coachee type of thing, but this you can use in everyday life in every area of your life, period. So with that said, I want to thank you for watching. I also want to thank you for always supporting the Coaches Lounge and always supporting me and what I do. I am over the Diamond Factor Network. That's the empire that I'm building. And under that, I'm building a lot of different workshops. I'm doing shows. I have a network that you can have your own show on, and the list goes on. So if you ever want to have that conversation with me, I am open, and I'm suggesting that you just reach out to me and let's have that conversation. Because guess what? When we mark out and when we carve out that time, believe me, I'm going to make sure I'm doing some active listening with you to know exactly what you want, your agenda, and not mine. Had to leave with that. Give you still, what did I say? Repetition is the father of learning. So with that said, we'll see you the next show of the Coaches Lounge with myself, Barbara Beckley. And like I said, always, if you want to be spotlighted as an expert in any field that you're in, as a coach, a teacher, or a consultant, please come my way. This is here for you to shine here. And we get to know who you are, and people get to know who you are, because you are helping so many others in their lives to be not only a lighthouse, it's your lighthouse to the world, that they can be a lighthouse to the world as well. Take care, and I'll see you next week.